Yo, what's up guys? This is Artifact. Welcome back to the Producer Mindset. Today what I want to do is teach you a little bit about dealing with record labels and what I've learned from the 7 or so years that I have dealt with record labels. I've released tracks with a number of different record labels, so I have a little bit of experience about this, and I just want to give like my personal conclusions that I've drawn from these experiences. You should always make sure that your record label is treating you as a priority as a producer, particularly around this specific release, because if they're not, then they're just not going to put in enough work that's going to help you. I would rather that you signed with a label that was not your dream label, but one that was really behind you and what you were doing and supported you, and for that reason they're going to put a lot more effort into promoting you as an artist. Also, if they push you as an artist more than they do anyone else on their roster, for example, it's going to create this kind of halo effect around you. In order to become a priority for any label, you're going to have a certain amount of uniqueness around you. Now this is really key if you want to succeed. This doesn't always have to, although it should, come from your actual art, your sound, your productions. But for example, just by having a really sociable personality or having a lot of connections within the industry, you can also generate a kind of uniqueness in this way. This is really going to help you stand out. In simple terms, you need to go one step further than everyone else in whichever way you feel is your strongest suit, but make sure that you're putting in extra effort. Now that you've acquired some uniqueness and you are the priority of a certain label, you need to question and ask what it is that this label is actually offering you. From my personal experience, the main thing a record label can do for you is give you more exposure that you wouldn't normally be able to get. However, with the way that the world is changing so fast and with the prevalence of social media, you can really generate a strong following all off your own back if you're willing to put the work in, of course. I personally feel like we're really living in interesting times and there's a kind of changing consciousness. In a way, a record label has less power than it used to because you can publish your own music so easily and generate a following yourself. The reason I like this is because it really puts more power into the hands of the artist, or in my case the producer. At the end of the day, you're the one that's putting in hours and hours and hours of work on your craft. So owning your own material is something that I think is really important, and the fact that you're able to own your own material and publish it yourself these days so easily, I think is a really great forward step for artists. That being said, record labels can help you, especially if you're starting out, because of the exposure. Something else they can also help you with is managing the release of your particular EP or whatever it may be, by providing artwork, by having deadlines, by promoting your stuff on their channels and generally taking care of things and allowing you to carry on with your other projects. That being said, if a record label is not doing any of this, giving you the extra exposure and helping you out managing your release, etc., then you really need to question what it is that they're actually doing for you. The best way to think of how an artist and a record label can really work together well is to think of it as a kind of collaboration, like a 50-50 deal. Everything that the artist does, everything the record label does should match, and there should be a mutual benefits to be gained from both parties. The more even the deal is between the artist and the record label, the better it's going to be for everyone. One thing to pay attention to while you're dealing with a record label is the level of communication. For example, good signs are openness, honesty, really positive energy and friendliness is something that you want to be part of the deal. You can actually build long-term connections with people and help each other in such beneficial ways that it becomes actually useful to use a record label for particular instances. Now, with all this said, and provided you are also really focusing on improving yourself as an artist or a creator, this is going to eliminate any feelings of discouragement when you get rejected by a particular label, because if you know all this, you know that you should be finding the labels that are really suited to you and suited to helping you out. You no longer need to dream to get on these well-established, famous labels that have a big name, because you're really focusing on what's going to help you actually in reality in the long term. So if you're improving yourself and you're searching for the right fit of a good label, then you're really going to eliminate any feelings of discouragement when one particular label rejects your piece of music. I've had my music rejected multiple times by labels, and then other labels have absolutely loved the same piece of music, so it's just about finding the right one for you. It does take a level of sacrifice, because if you are really attached to this idea of getting your dream record label, you might need to let that go, but at the end of the day, wouldn't it be nicer if they were hitting you up and asking you for music? Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed these tips. I upload a new Producer Mindset video to YouTube every Monday, so make sure you subscribe. If you want to see my weekly exclusive tutorials and have weekly feedback sessions on your music, you know where to go. Patreon. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wicked week and see you soon.